Hello, it's Lee Hinken here from Hyper Prospecting. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking through the 3 layers of a predictable outbound system. So basically what I want to get across in this video is how outbound campaigns aren't left to chance. They're not kind of one-off flukes kind of thing. It all comes down to a system. And basically, an outbound system generally has like these 3 layers, okay, that you can see here. So basically the aim here is to walk through each of these layers, give you an understanding as to how they kind of work together in the broad picture, big picture view of an outbound system that actually results in predictable lead flow month after month. Okay, so there's basically three layers. As you can see here: market intelligence, messaging, and conversion. Okay, so they're generally the three layers in the system. So market intelligence, I'm going to start with first. So I'm basically going to go through logical step-by-step order. So market intelligence first. That really, the 3 kind of aspects for market intelligence are ICP mapping, signals, triggers, and account-based research. So I'm just going to go and give like quick top-level overviews of each of these. Because otherwise this video would go for like an hour. If we go through in detail every single aspect here of each layer. But basically what ICP mapping is like, so you have your TAM, your total addressable market, and you've got your ICPs within that. So, you might have like the CEO founder ICP, marketing ICP, sales, commercial ICP, something like that. And then essentially you want to be tiering those accounts because, in any target market, you're generally always going to have some accounts that are more higher value than others. So yeah, you want to be tiering those accordingly. So then you can, when it comes to actually doing your outreach, you can have a more kind of personalized strategy. And then like working out ideal fit, need, ICP qualification. So this is a part of like the process when you're building your databases, extracting your data sets from whatever lead sources you're using, whether it's, from LinkedIn, Apollo, Crunchbase, whatever. So you want to have a process for actually scoring each account according to your ICP. So then that way, when you actually do your outreach, you're only reaching out to you're reaching out to the exact kind of companies that are going to be the best fit for your product or service. So that's a very top level overview of ICP mapping. Signals, triggers. So this is going to vary on what you're offering, but kind of common ones are like hiring patterns. Someone started a new role. Generally, they're going to be looking to shake things up. Product launches. Maybe you see company growth, funding rounds, tech stack changes, market expansions, new training programs that they've announced, maybe mergers with other companies. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Could be, just to give you an example, one client now regarding tech stack changes, it's like they're looking at companies that are merging from, I think it was like some system called S4. I can't remember the name, SAP or the S4 HANA, something like that. Basically, we've identified companies though that have kind of changed from these systems. So yeah, signals triggers is really powerful because it's like a timing thing. One of the big fundamentals with outbound is like reaching out to prospects that need what you've got, what you're offering at the right time. And signals and triggers are really the timing part of that. But yeah, there's a lot of different signals and triggers, so I'm not going to spend any more time on that, as it totally varies on each company. Account-based research. So this is kind of stuff like enriching, like fully enriching your accounts once you've sourced them. So getting a complete data set from, everything from, employee sizes, all their social profiles, all that kind of stuff, the decision makers. It's proper enrichment using dozens of different kind of data providers to really get a complete intel picture of the accounts you've sourced. Understand, segmenting all the different types of pains for each of the accounts, decision makers, case mapping per persona, which is like, looking at your existing clients and things like that and mapping them against the accounts you've sourced to determine who's going to be the best fit for kind of your outreach and stuff like that. So yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff within account-based research we could cover, but just for the sake of brevity, keep it short and sweet. So that's kind of the market intelligence layer. There's really the three main aspects. So yeah, appreciate I've done this quickly just to give a top level overview. There's a lot involved with each of these three aspects though. Then we turn to the messaging layer. So marketing intelligence you want to start with first because everything flows from that. And once you've done that, if you approach it that way, creating messaging is a million times easier because your messaging will just flow from all the intelligence you've gathered from the accounts you've sourced and the prospects you've got that you want to reach out to. So when it comes to messaging, we rely on just some pretty, tried and proven frameworks. There's different structures you can follow, but generally, most frameworks, the most effective frameworks are always pain or problem driven in their structure. Okay. Soft CTAs, really specific and soft persona specific angles. So your messaging needs to be specific to each persona, even if it's the same types of companies. If you're reaching out to a CEO, they're going to have different problems and challenges to like a sales director, and your messaging needs to reflect that. So it's really important that your messaging is persona specific. And pattern interrupts. So, a lot of the outreach emails I see and DMs from a lot of B2B companies are very typical, like marketing broadcast kind of email style. It just doesn't work. Really needs to be more pattern interrupts, super conversational. In terms of its style and things like that. Okay, so there's a lot of different frameworks you can use. We've got like a core from memory. I think it's like maybe 9 or 10 we would rely on and test. But yeah, you want to have frameworks that follow kind of these points here. Multi-channel. So yeah, your messaging here really concerns like LinkedIn DMs, your cold emails, calling scripts and opening lines, all that kind of stuff. And it all needs to be adapted to the channel and how users use the channel. Like when you're doing LinkedIn DMs, you're not going to send the same kind of DM to a prospect on LinkedIn that you would send via email because it's just not suitable for the channel. So your multi-channel scripts is really important, that they're tailored to the channel. Okay. Kind of general principles there is it's always short and sweet, but with LinkedIn in particular, definitely more conversational, almost kind of like thinking not literally, but the kind of mentality is more like when you're meeting people at a networking event. So yeah, your kind of DMs need to reflect that. So that's just an example of how across like email and LinkedIn in particular, it needs to vary based on the channel. Okay, so that's the multi-channel messaging. In terms of the offer and CTA architecture, really important part. So pretty much like no-brainer offers is pretty much the thing that will get someone to respond. So there is like a framework we use. It's basically a 5-step framework. You can reach out to me if you want more info about that. I'm not going to go through all of that because it'll take like half an hour. But basically we have a structure for creating no-brain offers. So instead of reaching out about how you do SEO or how you do leadership coaching, you need to be breaking it down so that it's suitable for cold outreach. Otherwise, you're just never going to get responses. So we have a process we follow for that to basically turn that overall service into a no-brainer offer. It's a 5-step process. Okay, but that's a fundamental of cold outreach. It needs to be a very pain-driven, no-brainer, easy to say yes to offer. Curiosity-driven, CTAs. It's kind of touched upon this a bit earlier. It's basically anything. It needs to be really easy to say yes to, a binary kind of response, like yes, no. That's what your CTA needs to be like. It's not yes or no, binary. Basically there's no point even writing a CTA, okay, because it's not going to work unless it's binary like that. And ideally tied into your offer to make it super powerful again. Could go through half an hour just on CTAs. But yeah, it's a really important part that often gets overlooked, I find, by B2B teams, marketing and sales teams. They kind of do a lot of good work with all the other stuff in the messaging, and they kind of let it lag with the CTA, which is really lower your positive response rate. Okay. And testing here, just a quick one on testing. So yeah, you're always going to be like, you're going to need to be testing a lot of different angles and stuff like that, especially in the early stages. Different hooks, kind of different pain points. That's just a general process. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that cold outreach campaigns, they're not like overnight kind of results things. It's kind of like paid media where you need to be testing different creative headlines, imagery. Same kind of concept with cold outreach. You're testing different hooks, pain points, even decision makers you're reaching out to. So yeah, so you need to have a testing matrix set up so you can easily track like what you're actually testing month to month. And then that way you'll have actual data to inform your decisions regarding what's working, what isn't. Then we go to the last layer, conversion. Super important. You can do a lot of good work in terms of getting the messaging, the intelligence layer set up. Then you don't want to let it all slip at the conversion layer. Okay, so reply handling. Every time you get a positive response, you want to be qualifying them first. Really just making sure, you should have already done all the pre-qualification, but again, I like to have like another layer in here just to make sure like nothing slipped through the cracks and they're going to be an ideal good fit. They got buying intent, things like that. So you want to have qualification kind of filters and a checklist in place for this for dealing with your positive responses. Reply scripts, so you want to have your templates already built out for the different types of lead responses you're going to get, because some are obviously going to be warmer, stronger interest than others. So yeah, you just need to factor that in when you've created your reply handling scripts. Booking mechanism, we like Calendly, but I mean anything that does similar will do the job. But Calendly's good because once you confirm the call, you can add the lead's details into the event, and essentially you have a pre-call workflow set up that nurtures the prospect before you even have the call. So yeah, basically does a bit of kind of pre-sales, couple emails in advance before the call. It really answers any objections, builds that proof credibility. So then the prospect goes into the call already half sold about your product or your service. So that's a really important part of the booking mechanism in the conversion layer. Another one here like gets overlooked a lot is analytics and continuous improvement aspect here is like, yeah, I mean, you do need a lot of data for this, so you're not going to be like able to assess this reliably after 1 month. But you're going to be looking at like your total positive replies, how many like actually turned into meetings and whatnot. And just like you need to be constantly monitoring and testing that so you can find the bottlenecks, because you might find that the bottleneck isn't even getting replies, it's like the speed at which you reply to an interest. It could be like, I don't know, you've had like 26 positive responses in 2 months and you've only converted like 4 into calls. Well, that data is then telling you that the bottleneck is converting. So it's like, what's the thing we got to improve here specifically? So yeah, you kind of need this continuous monitoring improvement of these analytics, reply rate and booking rate analytics, just to make sure you can always increase or improve, work out where the bottleneck is, and then fix it and improve upon it. And also here, you want to just kind of a tactical thing. You really want to be leveraging multi-channel with your lead follow-ups and nurturing too. So, if you've generated a lead via email, you want to be reaching out to them via LinkedIn, warm calling and stuff like that. That massively increases call booking rates. So that's kind of the kind of continuous monitoring, improvement, and optimization that needs to go into that layer. So that's pretty much it. Like very, very top level overview. Hope you can appreciate. I've kind of gone through this relatively quickly for the sake of time. Otherwise, it'd be like a 2-hour, I don't know, webinar or something. There's a lot of stuff to unpack across all of this individually. But basically what I want to get across is really just the top level system here. And these are the 3 layers that I've seen time and time again that you need for a predictable outbound system that actually fills your pipeline with quality deals month after month, quarter after quarter. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully that gave you a bit of value. You learned something new. If you would like to get in touch to learn more about the different ways we can help you, there's different ways we can, whether it's done for you, fully done for you, month-to-month campaigns, whether it's kind of more one-on-one, done with you, consulting, coaching, whatever. It depends on what really suits your circumstances, basically, and where you're at. There's different ways we can help. If you want to get more help, do reach out, book a call, get in touch, and we can go from there and see if there's a good fit. Otherwise, that's it for now. Appreciate your time. Appreciate watching, and see you next time.